shoulders, knocking out the competition. The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to The Fighter's Voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Like our guest today, Arnold Barboza. We're simply knocking out the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our guest, Top Rank's own, undefeated, the black horse of the division, and he will hunt down his prey and take over the strap. Ladies and gentlemen, Arnold Barboza. Welcome to The Fighter's Voice, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. That's a nice introduction.
Of course, man. I mean, well-deserved introduction. Let's jump right to it, man, because I want to get your take on some fights. I know you got a special interest on a fight coming up March 25th, Fresno, California. Another potential opponent, Jose Ramirez, will be coming back into the ring on his hunt to another world title. Right now, there's no friends for you in the division. There's no favoritism for you in the division. Everybody is a potential victim of Arnold Barboza's and a potential opponent of Arnold Barboza's. Tell us about the interest you have that will be coming up March 25th with Jose Ramirez as he enters the ring. And then we're going to talk about some other 140-pounders and some possible potential opponents for Mr. Barboza.
Well, man, it's a very interesting fight. I've had interest in that and Ramirez for a long time. I think he takes the fight. I'm pretty sure he will, but you never know. But again, it's a very interesting fight that I've always wanted to fight him.
He has
I respect him. I respect him a whole lot, man. Respect him a whole lot. He's a great guy. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to reach, where he was at one point. So, gotta see.
Let's talk about the 140-pound division. I mean, yourself, Regis Prograis, Jose Ramirez, as of course you've called this person out over and over again, Teofimo Lopez, possibly Devin Haney if he's successful against Lomachenko. I think win, lose, or draw. I mean, he's eventually going to move up to 140. That's just my take. Of Ryan has his way, possibly at 140. Or even Tank Davis, 140, where all the meat is at and all the money is going to be at. Also, Josh Taylor, a friend of yours, Cepeda. Where does Arnold Barboza fit in this equation of 140-pound champions and top prospects and, these top contenders?
Well, man, honestly, I'm top five. I'm top three. Man, I would like to fight Regis. I don't know if he has a fight coming up or he's in talks with anybody, but I'm already ranked. I think it's like number 4 or 3 in the WBC. So I don't see how that fight can't happen. I don't have a fight. He doesn't have a fight, so we can do something. My second on the list would be for WBO. Winner of Josh Taylor and Teofimo. My third would be, the IBF bout, which is Matias, right? Sabir Matias.
Yeah.
And then fourth would be WBA, whoever the WBA champion is. Well, it's a Pollo, right? Pollo.
Yeah.
So it's my list, and then of course, you got the people that I want to fight, they're not champions, which is Ramirez. I want to fight, Leon Paro, who was ranked number 3 by WBO. So I don't see how a title eliminatory fight can get done with that. If I'm number 2, he's number 3. You got man. So it's just it's a list, man. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the next best man up, biggest fight up. I can go to Australia to fight Paro. I already messaged him directly on Instagram. So hopefully he can, he can talk to his people and we can talk to Top Rank and we can do something.
I talked to I'm not going to put that message out there. You already know how to get up Jose. I talk to Regis every so often, and hey, take this opportunity right now. Any message directly for Regis Prograis?
Yeah, man. Listen. I think like I said, I have nothing but respect for him. He's a champion. He's an amazing fighter. I think me and him will make a hell of a fight. I think that I don't know how the purse split works. I don't know what was going on or how people are not fighting him or what. But man, the opportunity was given to me. I'll take it in a heartbeat. I don't know. I think a fair purse would be good.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna put on a great fight. So hopefully, I can get something done with him if no one else wants to do it or no one else can get anything done with him.
Well, I like that. Enough said, Arnold. Arnold, since the first time that I met you, you've been knocking on that door, man, and it has to happen this year, 2023. Arnold Barboza, governing bodies that are listening out there, the IBFs, the WBO, the WBAs, the WBCs. Hell, we'll even fight for the Ring Magazine belt. Arnold Barboza is waiting and deserves his title shot. The man is undefeated. He doesn't duck anybody. He's on prime time. He has a promotion team behind him. He has a network behind him. What the hell does Arnold Barboza need to do to get that opportunity? So I'm talking to everybody out there, the powers that be, even your management team. I'm talking to him directly. Arnold Barboza is waiting. He's knocking on the door. He's ready. Man, I mean, what more do you want from Arnold Barboza? Every time you're in the ring, you win. You're doing what's asked of you. Timothy Bradley called you the dark horse of the division. Well, and then I nicknamed you the brown horse because we're kind of brown. But you're ready to get down, Arnold. I'm a fan of yours. I'm a follower of yours, and also a supporter and a believer.
And I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you for real.
Absolutely, man. So let's talk about some business on hand right here. We talked about it with the guest that we had earlier today. Manny Robles, he spoke highly of you and your team and everybody around you. I asked him a question about an upcoming fight with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I'm going to ask you the same question. What does this fight do for boxing, and what do you think of the matchup? And if you had your last dollar, man, who would you put it on and why?
I think David Benavidez takes this fight. Yeah, I think he's a dog, man. Caleb Plant, man, he's really good too. Though I think Caleb Plant gives him trouble in the beginning, first 5-6 rounds, but
Yeah.
maybe 5 rounds. But and then I think Benavidez, just steps on the gas and takes him out. Um, you know, I, Caleb Plant, man, he looked really good against Durrell, right? Who fought his last fight.
With a
But
left hook,
I
yeah.
think I give this fight to Benavidez.
Well, why is that, Arnold? Because both men are working their ass off. Both men want this W. Both men are, of course, Plant wants that rematch with Canelo, like everybody does. David
Yeah.
wants that opportunity, man. How do you separate the two when you have two men with the same will, the same adversity, because they've all faced adversity in their life? What does it come down to? I'm asking you right now.
Man, I just think it comes down to who has more dog. You know what I'm saying? I think David Benavidez has that more dog. You know, we seen what Plant does against one of the best ones in Canelo, but I
Yeah,
think David Benavidez, man, the way he throws combinations, and he's just that dog he has, man. So I think he comes out with the victory.
a stoppage TKO doesn't go the distance.
I don't know. Maybe it might go the distance, but but man, the Benavidez, man, I think he might pull out the stoppage.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, and that's the same day that Jose Ramirez will be in Fresno, California, in his bid back in the 140-pound division. And his plans. I had a chance to talk to him, and he shared exactly where he stands in the 140-pound division and what his goals and dreams are. And actually, your name came up in one of the sentences of a possible opponent. Um, Female Lopez, you did everything you could, but get his hand and put it on the signature yourself. So there's not much more you can do as a man, as a person trying to promote that fight. He's going to go and fight Josh Taylor. I'm hearing a possibility in New York. What do you think about that matchup? What does it do for the sport of boxing? And who do you have victorious after that bell rings, the final bell?
I think like I said before, I think if the Josh Taylor that fought Ramirez and fought Regis fights Teofimo, I think Taylor wins that easy. But if you get the Josh Taylor that fought Catterall and plus the Josh Taylor hasn't fought in a long time, and there's a reason for that. From what I heard, little bird from little bird that he wasn't healthy no more. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is just a last fight for him to get out of the game. I don't know. you know. But I don't, if he doesn't come in healthy, man, I to have Teofimo, you know, taking that fight, you know. So we'll see.
Healthy as in injury, mentally, physically,
You know, I don't
the
want to
weight
say
is
too much,
draining
but
him.
I think
You
it's
care
the
to
it's
elaborate
the
any more than you
you
have
know, it's
already?
the it's he's yeah, I've heard it from the injuries, you
Okay.
know. So that's what I've heard, you know. But then again, you know, it could, you know, there's a reason why he's always not fighting, right? You know, so we'll see. You know, we'll see what you know what
Yeah.
happens to see if I'm right or wrong. You know, we'll see.
Um, all personal feelings aside, do you see Teofimo rising to the occasion? I mean, are we going to see a different Teofimo from the last Teofimo we saw in the last two fights that were victorious but weren't really 100% convincing? Um, like we are
You know what? To be
used to
honest,
seeing
one
him
second,
with the
hold on one
knockouts
second,
or
because I
just
got
looking,
my daughter. It's okay, Nipsey.
tremendous.
But now, you know what? I don't. You know, I've always said this. You know, even when the hype was all big on Teofimo, I just think he's a basic fighter. You know, I don't think that. You know, I don't think that he, you know, there's anything special about him. I don't think he's gonna change anything. You know, he's a wild fighter. You know, but you know, I just think that, you know, like I said, if Taylor comes in prepared and ready, you know, against like he did against Ramirez, or he did against Regis, and he takes that fight easy. You know, but if he don't, then
And that would
man, he's gonna
change
lose.
the sport of boxing. It'll take it a different direction. So how does that help you? Who do you think is more than willing to share the ring with you? So who will you be rooting for, Taylor or Teofimo? Because which one do you think would share the ring with you? I mean, that would be the interest for me if I were in your shoes.
You know, to be honest, I really don't care. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna keep winning, and I'm already at number two
Pressure
at
on.
WBO. So, you know,
Yep.
I just think that they're not gonna have a choice at one point. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter if they want to or they don't. You know, so I got to keep doing what I'm doing. And like I said, the fight that makes the most sense right now is Leon Paro and me. He's number three, I'm number two. I mean, we can do a title eliminator. I mean, that's what makes the most sense. But again, you know, promoters and you know, they do what they want to do sometimes. So
I'm
we'll
not
see
going
what
to speak
happens.
for you, Arnold. I just want to give an example. We all love money, correct? You're the type of fighter
Hmm.
exactly where you're at. And if someone offered you step aside money that says, okay, it's your turn for the title, but I'm going to give you some money to step aside, you're the type of fighter exactly where you're at to say, nah, Charlie, bro, I've been waiting too long. I want the belt. Because once you get the belt, it all comes by itself. You would be
Hmm.
the first one to say, no, I'm not stepping aside. I'm standing right here, my ground, I'm ranking by the governing body. I'm the mandatory opponent for the title. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like I don't understand the step aside shit.
I heard
Ain't no
that.
time for that no more in my career. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no such thing. Don't even come with me with that. I won't take it. You know what I'm saying? My time's now. You know, I need I need a belt. So you know, I've been, you know, I think I earned it. So you know, there ain't no step aside going
I
on
think,
over
with the
here.
exception, because he did mention you, of Jose Ramirez, I think you're one of the most avoided fighters out there. Because I can match you up against Regis Prograis, and that's one hell of a fight. I can match you up against Teofimo Lopez, and that is one hell of a fight. I can match you up with Jose Ramirez, and that is one hell of a fight. I mean, you're right. You're the uncrowned champion, brother. I mean, you really are, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be ignored much longer. I mean, these guys are going to either have to make a decision, or the fans, the public is just going to step up and say, man, just crown this guy, because nobody wants to give him the opportunity. There has to be a reason why they don't want to take the L, or they don't want to have to get off the canvas and check themselves to see if they do have that dog in them, because we already know what you bring to the fight. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you take a round off even when you needed some a breather.
No, yeah, 100%. You know, look, all those guys you mentioned will be great fights. You know, especially with Regis. You know, Ramirez, I always say that's a great fight because, you know, their styles have come forward. In that fight, I come forward too. You know, I can show I can box, but I think that fight is one of those fights like Regis and Ramirez are those type of fighters that you have to fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't just box them and, you know, and expect to win. You're gonna have to stand in there and stay with them. You know, and that's something I'll do. You know, like I said, I would take that any day. You know, I'm wishing, you know, all of them the best. You know, Ramirez is best in his next fight. and hopefully, we can do something. If me and him can't get a
I
title
almost
shot,
thought
you know what
that
I mean?
you two would possibly fight in September for a vacated belt. I just thought that the cards would fall that way, and we never know. This is boxing. One thing that we do know is Tank Davis is going to be taking on Ryan Garcia. And it doesn't get any bigger than
Hmm.
that. Both undefeated fighters, both in the prime of their career. This is great for boxing. Great to see different promoters coming together to make this fight happen for the fans, the fighters, and the supporters. What do you think about the matchup, and what does it do for the sport of boxing?
Man, you know what? I like that matchup. I'm real. I'm happy that a lot of these big fights are happening this year, man. I think this is a big year for boxing. Um, you know, um, it's hard for me, man, to pick someone because Ryan, man, is talented, man. Like, a lot of people don't think so. They talk shit about him, but man, the
Let
dude's
me stop you
strong.
right
He's
there, Arnold. Let me
fast to
stop you
that
right there.
hook.
Why do they
You
talk shit
know,
about him? I want to know why. I want to hear why you think.
I mean, I just think a lot of people hate on him, man. I think he's making his money, he's doing his thing, and a lot of people, they just, I don't know, they just find excuses, but you got to, give credit when credit's due, like I always do. And I think Ryan's a good fighter, man. But you know what? I'm edging on Tank on this fight. I just think he has more of the experience. I think he has a better resume. He's fought in better, opposition. So we're gonna see, man. I think Tank's a very smart fighter. So I'm kind of, going on the Tank side on
I'm
this
on the
one.
fence, and I'll tell you why. I wish Ryan would have took another fight leading up to this, just to stay sharp, man. Just to stay active, just to show something, that he hasn't already shown. To be convincing. Tank Davis, man. I mean, he is one knockout away from becoming possibly the top three, if not pound for pound, number one in the division, and possibly a new crown face of boxing. That's no knock on the Bud Crawfords or Spence or Canelo but how do you deny a man that has fought everybody that in his direction in front of him and been successful? That's if he is successful in spectacular fashion. I think he has a very good boxing IQ. I think he's very strong for the division. I think he sets traps like no other
Mhm.
fighter out there. A lot of people say, well, you can't count Ryan out. Exactly, because of the check hook. I don't think Tank's just going to say, okay, hit me with the check hook. I think I think eventually he's going to get caught.
Oh
This is
yeah.
boxing; everybody gets caught. But we're going to see, what he's really made of. We've already gotten that answer because he's been through adversity. I was fighting the taller opponent, and the only time he really had trouble, Arnold, is when he fought a shorter fighter with Cruz. But he's had success with the taller opponents, and I think he does great with the bigger men. What's your take on my statement?
No, I think I think you hit it on the nose, man. He's gonna be, like I said, Tank's a very smart fighter. He's gonna be prepared for that hook all day. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, yeah, he might get caught one here or there, but he has good defense, man. So I think he
Well,
pulls
I
this
mean, those
off.
are some
Honestly.
strong words, man. I mean, a lot of people they take for granted the namesayers or the fanboys. They almost think, and we get this bad makeup about us, Arnold, that people seem to think that because of a fighter looks like us, that we automatically root for that fighter or say that fighter is going to win just because he has the same complexion as us. But the true boxing fans, the true ones
Hmm.
with the intelligence, they know boxing. Enough said about your statement, and I'll move on from that. Now, it was released today. Ryder taking on Canelo, man, Canelo, and this fight's taking place May 6th in Mexico. What's your take on the matchup, man? A lot of people are kind of dogging Canelo because of the lack of competition, but you cannot dis you cannot just look past his opponent. This is boxing once again. Once you start looking past opponents, I mean, everybody talk
Hmm.
about the Buster Douglas story, and we don't need to do that here. I think he's a professional and he'll be well prepared. Is this a tune-up to get the rematch? What's your assessment on this?
Man, I don't know. I never like saying a fighter's a tune-up, especially when he's getting the biggest fight in boxing. But I've never seen John Ryder
I've
fight.
seen
I'm gonna be
highlights,
honest
but
with you.
never
I've
really
never seen
seen
him
him.
fight. But yeah, I've never seen him, so I can't really talk about the situation. But man, Canelo, you can't knock his what he's accomplished. You know what I mean? And he's still one of my favorite fighters. Uh, but man, I think he pulls it off. I don't, like I said, I can't really say he does it doesn't because I don't know the other guy. It wouldn't be right to me. But man,
Yeah,
I know it's gonna be a big fight.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be in Guadalajara, right? So
Well, my
it's
take
gonna
is
be a big
this:
fight.
Canelo likes to be active. Who else right now is available? I mean, everybody's lined up for a different
Yeah.
opponent, so he's not going to sit back. And especially May, he's not going to give up May, or he's not going to give up September. The man has to stay active, man. So no knock to him or his team. He's doing great. And
Yep.
until otherwise, I think he shares the platform, him and Tyson Fury, as the face of boxing. That's just my opinion. And other people got different opinions, and that's not knocking the Charlo brothers or any of the above or Benavidez. Benavidez has plans ahead of him, and has a date, March 25th. So this is boxing, man, and we take it as it comes. You know that. Um, one thing I do want to ask you,
Yes,
man,
sir.
those amateur show in Madeira. It was Daniel Gonzalez boxing. And Regis Prograis, he by video, he sent a message to the upcoming fighters. He, was kind of telling them, go out there, do your best, and kind of like a pep talk. And it was really, really motivating. Next year they're going to run a show, and I truly believed. And I told the owner there, I said, well, next year, man, we'll get Arnold Barboza because he'll be world champion. So that was a year from a year that was in March. That was a week ago that fight took place, the amateur show.
Mhm.
So if in fact, when you win that strap, man, we'll try to get you to Madeira, man, and see if you can do something positive for the kids just by showing up, man. I mean, I know you're always giving back to the community. I know you love doing that, and yeah, we'll make sure that happens on this side. Hearing that prophecy, man, how does that make you feel, knowing that you have people that believe in you once that opportunity is given to you to become a world champion?
Oh man, it feels good. It feels good. So I appreciate it. I always do appreciate everybody, man, that believes in me. I feel like my time is coming. Just gotta be a little more patient. But
Yeah,
hopefully, man, hopefully soon.
absolutely,
Thank you. I
man.
appreciate it.
I mean, so what's going on with Arnold Barboza? What are you doing nowadays? I mean, are you just staying ready? Is there a fight date at all? Are they hinting towards you, possible opponents? What's going on in the world of Arnold Barboza?
Man, you know what? There's no fight day yet. We're trying. Like we're trying to get a fight that really makes sense right now. So far, it's just been a
Yeah,
lot of BS. You know what I'm saying? And kind of kind of gets you a little angry sometimes, but there's nothing you can do really. It's just I've done my part, and if other people that that say they fuck with me don't want to, they don't want to say do what they say. There's nothing I can do about it, but just wait and and hope for something big to come up. And but then the only thing I can do is just stay in the gym, not go too hard because what I'm saying, I
yeah.
don't want to burn out. But staying active. I went ran and went to the gym today. Went to the gym again in the afternoon, just do light stuff. So hopefully, man, hopefully something soon, man. Hopefully,
Exactly.
hopefully I get something
Arnold,
soon.
we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get your take on Virgil Ortiz and his upcoming fight and the questions that will be answered on his strength in the 140-pound division. And then there's a tricky question coming up, man. I'm going to have to ask you, how are you going to take that if and when that fight does come to pass with you and Jose Ramirez? How does that put the manager involved? Because he has an interest in both. Before you answer that, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we'll answer those questions for the fans, the viewers, and the supporters. I'm Rich Ortiz, your host, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jose Ramirez.
I'm Bob Arum.
Hi, I'm Robert Garcia, and I'm with the Fighter's Voice.
The only radio show knocking out the competition. Fighter's Voice Radio Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And I'm like our guest here tonight, Arnold Barboza. We're simply knocking out the competition. If you're just joining us right now, we have with us Top Rank's own undefeated top contender in the 140-pound division, Arnold Barboza. Before we took our break, I wanted his take on we said we would talk about, and I wanted his take on the 147-pound division, on a new top prospect banging on that championship door coming up in April. That's Virgil Ortiz Jr. Arnold, what do you think he does for the division? What does he bring to the 147-pound division, and what does he bring to the sport of boxing?
Man, you know what? Virgil Ortiz is a great talent. You know what I'm saying? He does his thing. You know, he's done. You know, he's beat. You know, ran through everybody he's had. You know, he's a very strong kid. You know, I think he's very good for the 47-pound division. It's very exciting to see, man. See who he fights.
I think he does great in the 147-pound division. You know, he's young enough to still make that weight, and you know as well as I know, he's a big 147-pounder, very strong. You know, I see him at 154s in
Yeah.
2024, possibly 160s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before it's all said and done. But you know, he has business, you know, ahead to stay focused at 147 pounds. If he's victorious and he's a champion, who would you share? Who would you have him share the ring with? Would you have him defend or go straight to the Bud Crawford, the Errol Spences of the division?
Man, I think he deserved to go straight to the Bud Crawfords and suspenses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He shouldn't waste his time because I know he is big for that division. You know, so I think his time is very limited on that division. So I think he needs to just get his job done when he needs to get done. So I think he should go
There
to
was an
Spence and
old school
Crawford.
fighter, heavyweight. His name was Alex Garcia, heavyweight. He had the opportunity to fight George Foreman. He was very honest with himself, and he said, in a quote, "I'm not ready for that fight. I'm not going to take that fight just to take the fight. I need to prolong my career before I take that opportunity. Basically, I want to be ready." Arnold is what he's saying. Unfortunately, this is boxing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get that opportunity. Does Virgil Ortiz take that fight just to take the fight, or does he take that fight because we can see him being victorious against either Errol Spence or Bud Crawford, if in fact he is successful in April 29th?
No, I think he takes a shot, man. Yeah, he will be ready, you know, because at the end of the day, if he wins, he's a champion, so he should fight another champion. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. Once you're a champion, you have that big bullseye on your back. So no, there's no more, you know. Oh, you know, am I ready? Nah, you're ready. You know, you're a champion. You're ready for the best. So I think he should fight, you know, the
Okay,
best,
there
and
you
I
go.
think he
There you
will.
go. Oh, that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, man, I'm going to ask this question because I'm sure you think about this question. I'm sure it's come up with your team. Okay, Jose Ramirez is world champion, or there's a vacated bout. Jose Ramirez is your next opponent. It is going to take a place. It's already a signed deal. It's gonna happen. What happens with the management team there? Because he manages both you and Jose Ramirez. How does that fare with you? What's going to happen? Where does he sit? Do you ever think about that?
You know, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I mean, Ramirez has been his golden child, right? From the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, of course, I think about all the time, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm sure he'll do the right thing. You know, I hope he'll do the right thing, right, and just be even. But you know, then again, you know, him and Ramirez, they have that a certain type of relationship that I don't think that Rick probably has with his other fighters. But you know, at the end of the day, it's understandable. You know, that's who he started with. That's his, you know, that's his boy. But you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I think we'll just, you know, I think it'll be fair thing. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Hopefully, you know, hopefully we can actually
That's a
see
great
what
answer.
happens
That
and not
that's a
just
great
assume.
answer. And you know, Arnold, great answers come when you ask great questions because nobody else has the balls to ask that question. And you know, hey, we're on the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters, Arnold. So absolutely, man.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm
no,
going to
yes,
talk
sir.
about something just off the topic a little bit, man. I mean, I've been disappointed last year, the year before, and in this year, man. But I got to keep my hopes up, man. I got to stay positive, man. Arnold, opening days coming up, man. The Dodgers, man. How do you think we're going to fare this year? Do we have the pitching? Do we have the sticks? I mean, because we had the dynasty team last year, I thought. And you know, baseball is a game of inches, man. It's a beautiful sport. It'll break your heart, or it'll make you, man.
Nah, man. You know, I know we lost a lot of players, man. kind of sad to see him go. You know what I mean? But hopefully, man. I mean, man. Oh man, we've come so close so many times, and our Lakers is like, I don't know, man. And so I think LA needs that, man. So hopefully, man, we can do something, man. I mean, I always have, I'm always cheering for the Dodgers, man. Those are my team. So hopefully, man, I'm keeping a positive mindset, man.
Well,
Hopefully
you
they
got to
can,
love LA,
do their
man. I
thing.
mean, the most beautiful thing in California. I live in the Fresno area, man. But whenever I'm in LA, man, I want to stay there. I want to live there. I don't feel like getting on that freeway and coming back. LA shows a lot of love. So does Vegas. So I think it's time for me to move and step out the box. But listen, man, all these trades going on, and especially in the NFL, Carr now is going to. I mean, no, I'm sorry. The 49ers quarterback is now taking Carr's place. And somebody posted something today. It was a man wearing a sweater, and he's getting a Christmas present, and he's opening up his present. And it's the same sweater. So they're basically saying, I mean, you traded Carr to get the same sweater. I mean, I'm asking you because you know your sports, man. You know your trivias. You know what the point spread is. I mean, your sports is why I'm picking your brain here. Does that scenario, does that help out the Raiders, or no one's going to help the Raiders at this point in time? And you were actually kind of active. I think you made a statement on that. I think on Twitter today.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's hard to be a Raiders fan sometimes, man, because sometimes you don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Like all right, look, Jimmy G. If you go like by the numbers, like
Yeah,
he's a better quarterback, right? He's like 40 wins and like 17 losses or something. Like he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to like to like what like
yeah,
two like 3 or 4 playoff appearances or some shit like that. But so on paper he's a better quarterback, but at the end of the day, man, he's not. He's not healthy. He's never healthy. He's missed 17 games, the past 2 years, right?
yeah.
And that's a fucking whole season. I don't think he can throw a deep ball. And then to top it off, to put the cherry on top, they fucking trade Darren Waller is one of the best tight ends in football. They trade him for a 3rd round pick, and it's like, dang, what the heck is going on? Like Jimmy G's, he needs a tight end like a safe blanket. He's had that Kittle, and he's had players like that, but I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. I mean, we signed another receiver, and we signed Jacoby Myers. I think we're signing like the whole Patriot team, and basically, and we just,
Yeah.
I think we need defensive players, not offensive players, but I don't know. I mean, they might know more than me. I'm just the fan, but dang, I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't
Arnold,
know.
do you get out
It's
there a
weird
lot?
to
Do you
me.
get out there a lot to the games, both whether it's football, baseball, or basketball?
You know what? When they're well, yeah, no, when the Raiders were in Oakland, I used to go to two games a year. I used to go to one in Oakland. And I used to go
Okay,
to
yeah.
wherever the Chargers would play in San Diego or LA. But that when they last year. But ever since they've been in Vegas, I still haven't been to a Raider game
Well,
in
I've
Vegas.
been there during the season, and it's you could feel the energy. It's definitely a different energy, man. And Coliseum there
Yeah, yeah, for
it's
sure.
freaking
My pops
beautiful,
told
man.
me. Yeah, my dad told me that, and I had a lot of people tell me that it just don't feel like the
Yeah.
Raiders, in the Vegas stadium because the Raiders in Oakland was like it was grimy, it was just like you wouldn't have other fans there. Now Vegas is like there's games where there's like more of the other team than the Raiders.
Yeah.
That never happened before.
You know, I loved seeing that interview that you had with Mark Kriegel on ESPN, man. And I like the fact that when he brought up again, not a sore subject, Teofimo Lopez, that as a boxing fanatic and the expert that he is, he knows that fight is indeed good for boxing. I'm supposed to have Teofimo Senior back on the show in about a week and a half, and any message, any question, if you got a question or something, about send it to me, and or you can have it, on video, however you want to do it. And I know it's all about business right now. We've been there, done that. I'm just trying to get you a title shot, man. I'm trying to get you that opportunity, man. I'm rooting for you because once that happens, man, I got to be there at that day. Unless it's in like Dubai or something. Let's be realistic, man. I can't, not pay my house off for 3 months to go sit ringside with Arnold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, man. Look, to be honest, I ain't got no message.
There,
Good luck.
there you go.
That's it.
There you
Good
go.
luck
That's
on
going to be a
the
tough
Taylor
fight.
fight.
That's going to be a very, very tough fight, man. I really never gave you my take on that. I got to say this. Josh Taylor's the man until somebody beats him. He proved it. He did what he needed to do. He beat Jose Ramirez when they were both undefeated. Until somebody convincingly takes that belt away, he's the man right now. I think Regis Pro Grace is the face of the 140-pound division because he went after what he wanted to do. And the reason why your name hasn't been mentioned, Arnold, is because you haven't been given that opportunity. I think you match up great with Josh Taylor. I think you fight him inside. You fight him short inside. You're not going to stay in the outside with him. I think you take away that jab by your right hand to the body, which I saw. And I love that, man. I mean, you got to continue to do what's successful for you. I think you and Regis Pro Gray, man, I think that's going to be a wear and tear fight. I think you take him out of his game plan and he sits there and bangs with you. And that's exactly what you want because you're right there and applying pressure. I say you and Jose Ramirez, man, that's a stick of dynamite ready to happen. That fight is scheduled for 3 rounds, man. That's another Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler because when you got 2 pressure fighters, and our people only know one way to fight, and that's forward and letting them hands go. And I see that fight. That fight is scheduled for 3 rounds. That's the way I see that fight. You and the female Lopez, man, I see you just moving around your experience, using your experience. You tasting this power earlier and just smiling as if to say, "Yeah, I tasted it," and you're in for a long night. If he is on his game plan and uses his speed in the Teofimo that shows up that fought Loma, then you got to really dig down and respect his ability. But at the end of the day, man, the 140-pound division, 5 pounds is a lot of difference when you got men weight cutting and they got anywhere from 2% to 3% body fat. These are the big boys. And you can say 135-pound, you can skip a meal to make 140, but you got to put it on just right and just properly. And your body has already settled in that division. You know where you're at in the weight cuts. I'm sure you walk around 155, maybe 160 at the most, but you know when that fight comes, you have that discipline, what meals to skip, etc. Now, hearing everything that I've said, is there anything that you agree with? Is there anything that's saying, "Oh, Richard, I think you're kind of off on this matchup"? What's your assessment on my statements?
Nah, I think you hit it spot on. You know what I'm saying? I think you hit it spot on. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? So you're pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I
Pretty
know a
good.
little something, man. I mean, I have fun with it, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool,
yeah.
man. It's
I,
good.
I was talking to Manny Robles earlier, and I said, man, I would love to just sit and commentate a fight with him, and not only just to sit down next to him and commentate, because I mean, he knows boxing. It's just how much I'll learn from him. I mean, we had a conversation earlier, and we brought up some fighters of the past, Obakar, James Kitchen, Iran Barkley, and I kind of made a joke that these new guys around here, they would probably say, I don't know who the hell that is, and they're probably on their phone trying to Google it to see exactly who that is. But I like to surround myself around people that just know the sport because I don't know everything and I love to learn. And being that said, I say this to make this statement. I know you like surrounding yourself with the top talent around the gym, even outside of the ring, man. And that's how you continue to shape and mold yourself. And I think the world hasn't even seen the best of Arnold Barboza. Devin Haney, before he won that belt, I wasn't too high on him. I thought if him and Ryan fought, I think that'd be a great matchup for Ryan. If they were to fight today, I'd have to lean towards Devin Haney because ever since winning that bout, he's become a different fighter and a better fighter and a smarter fighter. Is that true what they say? Once you become a world champion, you become mentally and physically better and spiritually as well because of that strap? Because I have to say, I've worked so hard and now these are the fruits and I got to live up to those fruits.
No, I'm pretty sure they do say that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I haven't been a world champion, so I can't. You know what I'm saying? Can't say that, but I'm pretty sure. If I was a world champion, I would work even harder. Because then you're gonna have, when you become a world champion, you have people like me that are hungry and want what you got. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work that much more harder.
Hey, yeah, exactly, man. Before I let you go, man, I just got to get one assessment of you. Out of the Roberto Durans, the Marvin Haglers, the Tommy Hearns, and the Sugar Ray Leonards, who would you say Arnold Barboza's style is closest to? And which out of the four do you follow and do you, I would say, watch and learn from? Because I mean, I can watch those tapes all day.
Yeah, yeah, I like Duran and I like Sugar Ray Leonard. They were really good. I like Sugar Ray Leonard, especially how he throws combinations. To be honest, man, I don't know how my style is, man. Well, I
Boxer
don't,
puncher.
really look after nobody on it. Yeah, I never really like, seen or had anybody compare my style to anybody, So that's still something, that I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? But Sugar Ray Leonard is one of my favorites.
Okay, Arnold, you know what? We're going to wrap this up. But before we do, man, there's a fighter out there. There's a certain somebody you got your eye on, man. I'm going to give you the platform. You have your opportunity right now on the Fighter's Voice. Go ahead and call and let them know, hey, I would love to share the ring with you. Who is that fighter?
Well, honestly, it's Regis right now. Regis Prograis, because he is WBC champion, he is the king. So I think everybody should be wanting to fight him. If they don't, something's wrong with him. I would love to, get into negotiations with him. I would love to, to try to make that fight happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a good fight. I think, especially if in LA we can do something nice. And hopefully, man, he can give me the opportunity, and it'll be an honor
Okay,
for me to share the
that
ring with
fight
him.
gets signed today. Okay, it gets signed today.
Mhm.
Who wins tomorrow? Tell me, who wins?
Oh, me, of course. Come on now. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I won the fight. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't a question to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just the thing is making the fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on. What's going on in the negotiations that that no fighter wants to fight him. But hopefully, if we get into negotiations, it's fair. You know what I'm saying? And 'cause at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'm trying to get paid too. Just like he gets paid, and he was trying to get paid when he was coming up. That's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully, he can give me a shot like they gave him the shot, and because I earned it just like he
Hey,
earned it. So
man,
hopefully
hey,
we can do
that's
it.
a terrific answer. I look forward to it, and that's a great matchup. Arnold, where do we follow you? How do we support you? What's your Twitter? What's your Instagram? Or I know you're also a slash promoter in the comedy club aspect, man. Tell us a little bit about that. How we can follow and acquire tickets on your next event.
Yeah. So on my Instagram, you can follow me at Arnold_Barboza_Junior. My Twitter, it's Junior Barboza Arnold. And then the comedy is gonna happen. Probably gonna have a show in June. Probably in Riverside. So we're gonna start looking to do them, all over. So after the Riverside one, hopefully go out, have one out there maybe with you guys, and do different things. But I have a Instagram for that. It's Barboza Promotions, on Instagram. So hopefully you guys give that a follow and, and,
Hey,
and
man,
keep up with
I
it.
agree with you. And also out there, hey, if you're a sponsor and you're interested in sponsoring the Fighter's Voice or even a segment of the Fighter's Voice, make sure you contact us at the Fighter's Voice at gmail.com. We can sponsor a week, we can sponsor a segment or even a show. Make sure you get a hold of us and become part of the Fighter's Voice team.
Okay.
And also, if you have not followed us on our YouTube, subscribe now, www.youtube.com/the fighter's voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. I got one bone to pick with you, Arnold. Just one, man. Just one, because you're a fighter, and I don't want them hands flying. Brother, I gotta see you in that hoodie. I gotta see you in that hat. I gotta see you rocking and supporting the only voice that matters, my man, the fighter's voice. You gotta tag me on a picture, my man.
I got you, man. I got you. You know what? The sweater, I use it to run all the time, man. So I got you
Okay.
when I'm running or something.
No, man. I
I
mean,
got you.
there's
Appreciate it.
something about it, man. When you have it on, man, it just makes you faster, makes you stronger, makes you smarter. I know that for damn sure. Hey, Arnold, I
Yes,
want to
sir.
thank
You
you,
got
man.
it.
I want to thank you for taking
Appreciate you,
time. I know
man.
you changed your training today just to make time for the Fighter's Voice for the podcast. But a lot of people, they want to know what's next for Arnold Barboza. Why isn't he not getting that title shot? And you let everybody know, hey, you're more than willing and you're ready to take that opportunity once it comes your way.
Thank you, man. I
Appreciate you
appreciate
too,
you, Rich.
man.
Thank you.
As
Appreciate it.
always, I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice. I want to thank our guest, Arnold Barboza. Thanks all the questions that came in. And as always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember,
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, and all the crew, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.